Okay, I promise that this will be the last video that I try and squeeze 2 things into one of, because my timing was completely off. I am going to work on that. That is definitely going to be a 2021 resolution. But until then, welcome to the dead famous read-along announcement and other goals for 2021. So I have been thinking about doing a read-along for a really long time. Actually, before I even considered doing a readathon, I considered doing a read-along. I just didn't know what book to do because I was so behind on what current trends were, and I was so behind on, I didn't really know what the mass would want, and I was really stuck on picking a book that I would enjoy reading an entire series of, because I am really bad for just reading the first 2 or 3 of a series and then just never picking it up again. We are working on it, and I just had all these different things that I wasn't sure, and then I was like, why not just pick a book I enjoy that I haven't read all of the series of? That's where Dead Famous came in. I posted a tweet out saying, Skullduggery read along, anyone? And I was informed there was one that was hosted on Discord, but that there weren't any lives attached to that. And what is the point of having a read along if you're not going to hear people talk about it at the end? So that's where this is coming in. So I am starting from the very beginning. We are starting from literally the first one, Skullduggery Pleasant. There are 15 books. So it is going to take us till 2022 to catch up. But essentially we are going to read 1 book a month starting the 1st of February. We're then going to have the lives in the first week of the following month so that we have the whole month to read it, because I am a slow reader and I have lots of books to read and I want to make sure that we're doing it properly. So my 2 amazing co-hosts are going to be Becca from Sanctum and Siobhan from Siobhan Louise Reads a Lot. I'm really excited that they're as excited about this read along as I am. It's going to be relatively chilled. Like I said, it's only 1 book a month. They're not particularly big books, and essentially this book is about a young girl who I think loses her parents. It's been so long since I've read it, so I only vaguely remember the outlines, but I think she loses her parents and she chances upon this detective who is also a supernatural being, and that is Skullduggery Pleasant. After Gothtober, I obviously discovered that not only do I quite enjoy middle grades, but middle grade mysteries in particular, and those spooky horror vibes in a middle grade just hits me in a different way to like an adult one does. And when I was thinking about it, I just had so much love in my heart for Skullduggery Pleasant that I want to see if it holds up, and this is a great way to find out. So I'm really excited to be doing this read along. We have a Discord, we have a Twitter. That is going to be where you can find all the information. The links are below. I am also selling Skullduggery Pleasant at a discount for anyone who gets involved. So basically there will be a link on the Discord where you can order your copy of Skullduggery Pleasant discounted through Waypoint. I mean, a positive incentive never hurts, but also you're supporting me and my business whilst actually enjoying a thing, so I feel like it's a win-win. So I'm sure I've forgotten something. I will make a point of sharing Siobhan and Becca's announcements because I'm sure they're going to cover it much better than I will, but essentially it will be a book a month all the way through the year, well into next year. When the last book comes out, they usually come out around April, May, so we've tried to time it so that the last month is the last book and that we can all get it at the same time. That's the plan. We shall see. But yeah, I'm really excited to dig back into a series that I really enjoy. So that's the read-along announcement. I know I'm going to have forgotten something, but for the moment I can't remember what it is, so we'll leave that there. I obviously do have other reading goals and things that I want to do this year. Now, lockdown was a weird thing where it allowed me to kind of dig into some of the goals that I had last year and do really well, and others that I just did piss poorly. So I'm taking that into consideration. We had the announcement from Boris yesterday that we're going into another lockdown, and I did kind of want to wait to see if we went into another lockdown before I uploaded this, which is another reason why my timing is so off. I know that so many people have already done their 2021 goals and kind of put them out there. I didn't. I wanted to see what's the situation. So for example, last year I said that I wanted to self-publish a book. I will still be self-publishing a book this year as well. There will be an opportunity to pre-order, but the ARCs are going to take longer to get out to people. The print date originally was going to be the 14th of Feb because it's 2 days after my birthday and Valentine's Day, so you know, YA romance Valentine's Day, it seemed like a smart move. That's not going to happen now, so it's now going to be out in April, and I'm hoping that date stays. But regardless of when it comes out, there will be a self-published YA rom-com from me this year. That is one of my goals, that is something I'm going to do, but I am bearing in mind that lockdown is going to have an impact on that, because if I can't get the books physically printed through my printer because they can't open, because they are not seen as essential, so that's the thing. But I'm still excited to do that. I am still excited to self-publish a book, and I'm really excited to see what everyone thinks. It's going to be slightly less personal, because obviously the book I self-published last year was a collection of short stories, and I didn't really expect everyone to be so... I didn't expect it to be so well received, which it sounds... I don't know if that sounds silly, but because it's a collection of short stories, which isn't as popular on BookTube, the fact that it's kind of literary fiction contemporary, which isn't as popular on BookTube, and the fact that it's from me, a literal nobody, I really wasn't expecting it to get such a warm welcome. And a massive, massive thank you to the booktubers that did have it on their channel and have talked about it and have encouraged me, because without that support, this book this year would just not be happening. I just wouldn't have bothered. So I am really excited to kind of push forward on that. This is a fiction one that I'm working on this time. So like I said, not as personal, but far more pragmatic. And I think BookTube will enjoy it more for those reasons. So yes, fingers crossed on self-publishing another book this year. I am still querying the book that I tried to get an agent for last year and didn't get an agent for last year. I am going to be trying again this year to get an agent. I do think having an agent is really important as a next step in my career, so that is something that I'm going to be working towards. But I appreciate that whilst publishers aren't able to necessarily print on the dates they want to print, there has been a backlog of stuff, and people that have been working on their books far longer than I have are still struggling to get agents. So it's another one of those things where, like, I'm going to keep working at it, but I'm being realistic with what the outcome might be. It just might not happen for me this year, but fingers crossed. I would love to get an agent. I just think I want it real bad. So along with the Dead Famous read along this year, I will be doing another Gothtober. Gothtober is coming back in October of 2021. Tish and Olivia have agreed to be my co-hosts again, or at least they did last time I spoke to them, they agreed. And there's going to be a lot more collaboration on that. So I was really nervous with Gothtober going into it last time. I was really nervous that it just wouldn't be very good. So I did a lot of the work myself in the hopes that if it did then backfire, it only backfired on me. But it was so well received and people really, really enjoyed it. I feel like I can share it better this time. I'm really excited to see the ideas that Olivia and Tish are going to bring to it. One thing I would also like for Gothtober is to hit 1,000 followers on the Gothtober Twitter. So we went from 11 to 600 in an evening. And I just think if we can hit that 1k milestone, I'll be really proud of that, which means I've got to start putting content on there. That's a nice goal that I'm like, I know it's going to happen. So hosting a Gothtober that I'm as proud of as I was last year is essentially the goal. So hosting a readathon and a read along. And then the other big bookish news, I guess, is I'm going to be reading 300 books. So I've set myself a Goodreads goal of reading 300 books. Now I've brought it up a couple of times, but I do feel like I need to explain, and this is the platform that I'm going to do it on. So essentially, I was really proud of myself that I set myself a goal of 60 books, which is essentially 5 books a month for 2020, because the year before that I had only read 15 books. So I thought, let's up the ante. We can do it. So read my 60 books, then read another 80 books on top of that. So I thought, well, that's a nice big jump. So my next Goodreads goal should reflect that. So I was like, I should either do like 100, 150, or maybe I should just push the boat out and say 200 and just be like, you know, I'm not allowed to leave the house, so what else am I going to do with my time? Fine. I shared that on my Discord with people and was just like, gonna do this. And my friend Sarah came back and was just like, oh, well, it has to be 200 because I did 185 books this year. And she properly baited me. She knows she baited me. She is completely unapologetic. I'd have it no other way. But she was basically like, you know, like, it's going to have to be, I mean, like, 150 is nothing. So I was like, fine, 200, that's what's going to happen. Bring it, bitch. I'm going to read 200 books. And she was just like, yeah, okay, I'll believe that when I see it. Which, again, baited me. I was like, right, 200 books, you fucking watch it. And then Blanche rocked up and was just like, oh, but didn't so-and-so read like 285 books or 250 books? Like, if you really wanted to like outdo everyone, honey, you'd have to read 300. And I was like, fine, have it your way. I'm going to read 300 books. And then I told a whole bunch of people that I was going to be reading 300 books, and it has now got to the point where if I don't read 300 books, I can never show my face on this platform ever again. And it's my own fault. I know it's my own fault. I can blame Sarah all I like. It's my fault. I get that. But it's also Sarah's fault, is what I'm trying to say. So I will be reading 300 books, trying to work out who keeps texting me. Oh, it's Emma Novella, and she's left me a 2-minute voice note, so we will come to that in a moment. 300 books. There'll be a lot of graphic novels and audiobooks in 2021. My psychic senses are telling me. I foresee that in my future. But yes, 300 books is the goal. If I hit this, I'll be intolerable. If anything, you should wish me not to hit this goal, because I'll be an asshole. I'm a terrible winner. I'm also a terrible loser. Something that I want to do that's not bookish related or business related or anything related is I want to get more body confident and more body positive in just who I am. And this was one that I kind of added a couple of days ago. Keris asked me for a selfie that she could put into a thumbnail. It had to be unedited, it had to be like shoulders up so that she could use it. And I didn't have any. I didn't have any photos where I haven't like filtered it to shit or covered myself in makeup or whatever. They just don't exist. Or if they do, I've sent them to people as like a little joke or like in context of something and then deleted it. They just don't exist. I'm sure other people have really ugly photos of me, but I delete them as soon as physically possible. So the only photos of me that I have are incredibly edited, and I thought that's really sad. It's really sad that I can't look at a photo of myself without makeup on or without editing and not be like, ugh. So I need to work on that. And I am a size 20, I am a bigger girl, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And it has nothing to do with anyone else's perception of me. It is purely how I view myself. And I will start crying because I have real issues with my body. But I feel like if I don't vocalise it, if I don't put it out there, that's something I want to nail in 2021, is just fucking liking what I look like, then we're going to have another 28 years of me just not liking what I look like. So that is something I want to work on. And if you want to hurt my feelings and just come for that, fine. There is nothing you can say that will hurt me more than the things I've already said to myself. So I literally had someone sing Nelly the Elephant to me as I walked down the street before. Anything you say is never going to be as bad as that. We'll work on it. It's a point of course, is we're going to work on it. So yes, body positive is the plan for 2021. Let's talk about Waypoint and Silvertongue Creative. So Silvertongue Creative is my business that I've had for 2 years, where I basically ghostwrite for other people. So I've helped people write books, I've written several memoirs in a couple of years, and I've helped them with their social media stuff. Generally I write the blogs and then they post them and schedule them, etc., because it's just easier for me and I like the writing part. I still need to grow that business. Now lockdown, I went from having 17 clients to 3, and that is not enough to pay rent. So I need to get back up to 20 clients. That is the goal for that, but it is going to be tricky because when everyone's working at home, they think they don't need content. They can do it themselves, and that is not how content works. So I do still need clients. I am still working on it, but it is slow going. In the meantime, subscription boxes. So I had said as a goal for 2020 that I wanted to launch a subscription box. That is happening as of this year. I know what's going in them, I know what's happening with them. They will be available on my website basically the moment my website is available. And my website will be available the moment I actually finish doing the content for that. So it is on the horizon. That's going to happen. So it's going to be a subscription box for writers. It will have a workbook in it, it will have gifty bits in it, it will have all kinds of stuff, and I'm really excited for that. But it is obviously a baby and I'm very protective of it, and I'm not going to share any more info on that just yet. I also want to be uploading more blogs once the website's up, because at the moment I've just completely neglected my blog, and I want to be focusing on writing better content and putting that out weekly. So hopefully what you're going to see from me regularly is 2 or 3 videos a week on YouTube, at least 1 blog a week on my website, and all of the Twitter and Insta content you could possibly need. Oh, and Discord. I'm really trying with Discord. We're getting there. I'm trying. And then the last thing I really want to achieve in 2021, which I wasn't able to achieve in 2020, and I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve in 2021, but much like with the body positivity, I want to vocalise it in the hopes that by vocalising it, I manifest it and it happens. I would really like to move out of my parents' house. So I've already started saving. That's a thing that I'm trying to do, and I'm really hoping that at some point this year, not only am I moving out, I'm not renting, I want to buy my first property. So that is going to be difficult with lockdowns and mortgage companies wanting more of a deposit and less sort of stuff. I get that it is not going to be an overnight thing, but I have started house hunting. The ball is moving on that. I don't want to be 30 years old and still living at home. And I know that's not a problem for a lot of people, but it is a problem for me, and it is something that I need to do for myself. So yeah, that is my collection of goals. Like I said, all the read along information will be down below. The Waypoint links and stuff like that will also be down below if you would like to support me over there. If you would rather get your books delivered to you from someone other than Jeff Bezos, let me know, because there's quite a few that I can get in stock. I can't get everything, but yeah, I don't have access to every book, unfortunately, but I'm working on it. And if you have any interest in writing guest blogs for my website as that comes up, that would really take something off my shoulders. If you're interested in an arc for my YA rom-com, I'll also put my email down below, so that if you want a copy of that as an e-arc or whatever, because I'll probably get the e-arcs out quicker, let me know. I'm now going to find out what Emma Novella's voice note is, and I will see you next time.